So, Big Josh Boy, I know you got a story that you want to talk about this week, but I gotta ask you a very important question. Don't you worry.
Oh,
no parental advisory required warning or anything. This one's gonna be just legit. It's a question.
It's a question. All right.
I guess if you're with kids, you might want to like turn it down a bit. I don't really know. But have you been keeping up with like all the stuff happening with Activision Blizzard? All of the like the dumbass shit that's happening with like Bobby Kotick and different stuff?
They like somewhat. I'm kind of in there, kind of not, because I'm just like, they suck. They I don't know. It's, it's too much. I get
they suck. They've always sucked.
Yeah, I get it. Why? Why do you ask?
Specifically because, well, I mean, they suck for all sorts of different reasons now. But the reason I ask is because I want to talk about email and text signatures. Have you heard about this within the like wider thing? No. I didn't know about this until I listened to, I think it was like last week's episode of Sacred Symbols, or I think technically it's this week. But there apparently was a guy who worked for some portion of Activision Blizzard. I have no idea, but apparently his email signature, you know what an email signature is, right? We get PR emails, they're fucking in there. It's like blah, blah,
I work in the corporate world, so I definitely know what emails are.
Yeah, people use them. Okay, I guess this is even better for you. Tell me if you think this is an appropriate corporate email signature. If you were to sign off with your email signature that says 1-800-ALL-COCK, how you feel about that one? You feeling good? You like, man, that's super appropriate. I mean, why not put that as my email signature?
That just sounds like he's a cool dude.
I know, right? Sounds like a guy I'd want to hang out with.
Yeah, I want to be his friend. He knows all the great numbers.
Apparently, so apparently there's a guy that worked at Activision Blizzard that had that and supposedly like worked there for years. And I'm not 100% certain, but seemingly he had this that entire time. Like he had it for a long time. And no one did anything about it until he eventually, like, I believe he was eventually fired. I'm not 100% sure on this one, but like, bruh.
I can't believe they got the cockmaster himself.
I know. Did he even do anything wrong, bro?
Yeah,
you know,
right?
it's
what's wrong? He's just trying to let the people know.
Yeah,
like, he's just spreading the word, the gospel of penises.
Yeah, he's like, I'm all cock, you know?
I'm all
like,
what are you gonna do?
There's 5 feet 4 inches of me, and that's all penis. You know, it's just that's how it goes, bro. So the question I wanted to ask you in this was not necessarily if you found that appropriate, but do you have like you and I, we're both like, we're not young guns, as the kids would say. You know,
I don't think they would say that, but no, we're not. I think that's a great example of how we're not young guns.
We lived through the age of, obviously email signatures still exist, but like text signatures, where every time you'd send a text at the bottom of it, it would say that.
Yeah.
Did you ever have them? And if you did you do any like really inappropriate or weird ones? So are you like texting your grandma and it on the bottom says 1-800-ALL-COCK? Like, was that you?
Yeah, that was definitely me. I was like,
she's like, what does that mean? And tries to type it into her phone. You're like, no.
I was always like, oh, thanks, grandma. I love you. Big dick bandit, Josh boy. Why not? That's who I am.
Yeah, dude. I'm glad that you went by Josh Boy all the way back in your team.
Oh yeah,
like, that was fantastic.
It's always been Josh Boy.
Yeah. I mean, I just picked up on that like telepathically through the internet. When I first met you, I was like, Big Josh Boy, and you were just like, fuck, that will never, like, it'll never stop. Ever since it came out the womb, my mom was like, Josh Boy, and my dad was like, nah, bro, that's not cool. You know?
Yeah, he was like, he's already a boy. You don't gotta say that. She's like, nah. He's a B-O-I boy.
Yeah, exactly. Change it up. I'm not talking about the gender. I'm talking about the boy.
It's not about gender. Saying boy has nothing to do with gender.
Not even a little bit.
Not even nothing a little to do with
it. When it's an I, that's just like, you a cool kid, you know?
Yeah.
That's has nothing to do with gender. Yeah,
it's true. It's true.
Big Joshua, you ever have one of the? You ever have a weird signature?
No,
you were a kid once.
I was a kid once, but no, I never had. Like the closest to that would be like, and this is really dating myself, was like my AOL Instant Messenger like sign off. You know how you used to have back when? Man, there's probably a lot of people who have no idea what we're talking about. But it was basically just a messaging service that you would be able to put away messages because like people needed to fucking talk to you at any given time, and it would always just be stupid like song lyrics or just something really fucking dumb because I was a dumb teenager who didn't care about like it's all the kinds of things that like I used to do stuff where I'd put up pictures of myself on like Facebook back when Facebook was just for actual college kids, and it'd be like me puking in a toilet and like stupid ass shit like that where, you know, I would have it and then my parents would be like, you gotta not do that. And I'd be like, why? They're like, companies are gonna look at it. And they didn't. So fuck it.
Yeah, that is something I find legitimately interesting. It's like, there are many, many mistakes I've made that my father and mother told me about far beforehand. Like, don't move in with your friends. It often does not work out. Granted, I've got some cool friends. I've lived with them. It's been fine. But like, I've also had the exact opposite, and it's destroyed friendships. Like, there are a lot of things that your parents tell you. You're like, oh, you're fucking stupid. And then you grow up and you're like, you're a genius. Why didn't I listen to you?
It's almost like you've had the same experience as I, and you're just older.
There are the few things that like, you're like, and it still hasn't come true. So it's like, oh, you'll use this math all the time. And it's like, bro, I never fucking do math.
They changed math. Dude, they totally changed it. It's so new now.
I love how old we sound. AOL Instant Messenger, and they changed math.
They changed math.
Why did they change math?
I don't know. It's fun. I thought I was gonna need this, and then they were like, "No, flip the script, throw it all out."
Yeah, you're all idiots. It's time to learn different math. You're like, how is there different math? I thought this was like,
I thought math was just the one true thing.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? I don't know, man.
Shit's weird, dude. Shit's weird, you know?
So let me tell you real quick before we jump into all the goodies and the regular show. I almost died today. Bro. If you were thinking that something was going to kill me, what do you think it would be?
Something was going to kill you.
So just general, like how would I die, right? What's my way of dying? I get mauled by a bear, I get run over by a truck, you know, what am I fighting? Or what am I going up against?
In my head, thinking of Florida is Alligatorville, USA.
Oh, that would be too easy, though.
Yeah. See, but that's the thing. It's just like in my head, the sheer volume of alligators in Florida would mean
alligators to people.
It would be that like every third person in Florida dies by alligator. You know, like you take one step out your house, fucking death roll. Like that's how I would think it would happen.
Yeah.
But please tell me it's like a fucking wacky wiggly arm man at a car dealership almost beat you to death or some weird
that would be a great story. No, I was eating potato chips today. Ooh. And there's some extra crunchy potato chips, all right? And I bit it, and I didn't chew quite enough. It was like the tiniest little piece of like the most jagged edges you could imagine, and I swallowed it, and I swear to God, I was like, there's no coming back. It was the most painful thing I've ever gone through. My throat still hurts. Like, just in general, it is scarred because that chip just went down my throat and fucking just destroyed me. It's like
permanently damaged. You're like, I'll never be able to eat again.
I don't know. It hurts to eat. It hurts to drink. I was like, what the fuck? I was standing there with my wife just eating chips, and I was like, whoa, like I just didn't know what to do.
I would love that you're just like sitting there eating chips like a normal person. Like your wife just doing her thing. She's like, I don't know, fucking playing Nintendo Switch. She's playing card games as per usual at the Big Josh Boy household. And then you're just like, oh.
It was traumatic, man. I don't know. That chip had it out for me. I don't know, man. I'm scared. I don't know if I should ever eat potato chips again. It's like,
I mean, it almost slit your throat. There's like choking is one thing, but you would never think of a potato chip to give you like a Chelsea smile or some shit.
Dude,
like that's
It got me. It got me good.
Are you gonna sue him? You're gonna be like, your potato chips did permanent damage to my throat.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see how I feel tomorrow. If it's still messed up, I might have to press charges. You know?
Oh,
it'll be just like those. That, you know, as stupid as that sounds, where it's like, come on, dummy, you just didn't chew enough, right? As dumb as that sounds, you know how there's like those signs on things like a coffee cup, and it's like, may be hot, and you're like, really? Because they got sued from someone who dumped coffee on their lap and was like, who could have foreseen this? And so, like, maybe I could be the person that gets $1 million from Lay's potato chips, and on the bag it'll be like, caution, may have to chew fully.
Caution, potato chips may be sharp, and you're just like, what does that mean? Like, you got razor blades in your potato chips?
I mean, they basically do. You don't know what I went through.
Dude, the coffee thing is so weird, by the way. Like, I think we've actually talked about this on the podcast, but like everyone is a little bitch about this coffee thing. They're like, oh, everybody's getting so happy. Somebody sued McDonald's because their coffee was hot. It was like 300 degrees. Yeah. It gave her 3rd-degree burns. Like, that shit's fucked up. But that's an aside. Big Josh, but I never would have guessed a potato chip, you know?
I know, me neither. I didn't think you never realize what's gonna get you in the end, you know?
That shit was like a game of Clue right there. It was not only what almost killed you, but how it almost killed you. Because if you came to me and you're like, I almost died by eating a potato chip, I'd have been like choking. And then you're like, no, it almost slit me open like a fucking stuck pig. It almost murdered me from the inside like Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Like,
that's how it works.
I never would have guessed, dude.
Sometimes you just, you know, life is funny like that. You never know what you're going to get. One day,
it's like a box of chocolates.
Yeah, it's like, it's more like a bag of razor blades, but yeah.
Do you think you'll ever eat chips again? Or at least that brand, you know, will you now have traumatic events like PTSD every day you enter the chip aisle? You just start fucking punching bags of chips?
Yeah. Maybe. That might be my life. I don't know. No, I love potato chips too much to let it affect me. But I will chew a lot more than I need to from now on.
Yeah, you're gonna chew till it's a fine paste. You're like, this is. You're gonna chew to the point where it's kind of gross. You're like, I don't want this in my mouth anymore.
Like, this is not what I'm looking for, and then I'm just gonna spit it out and start again.
This is just unappetizing. You can get one of those like spittoons.
Yeah,
that's for like your tobacco. Just start spitting chips in it, and your wife's just like, why?
What are you doing?
Just eat the chip. Like, why?
It's too dangerous. I can't take that risk.
Dude, when I was a kid, one of the few memories I have, because I've forgotten 90% of my childhood, one of the few memories I have was almost choking, like legitimately being terrified for my life, almost choking on a chicken strip. No joke.
Oh my
goodness. Like, which is so weird because I'm like, bro, I'll eat every chicken strip this world's got to offer, you know? As long as it ain't got them hard bits, I'll fucking eat that chicken strip. But yeah, you never know. When I was a kid, chicken strip almost killed me. So here you go.
All right.
If your love's strong enough, you can overcome anything. You know what I mean?
That's, you know what? That's the motto. That's the Indie Pod motto. All right, let's kick it off.
Hello and welcome to Indie Pod and Indie Games Podcast, your weekly source for all the indie games news you need to know. This week, we are not actually bringing you any main news stories, not really anything that I thought we could really dive into with the gusto that we normally do.
Oh yeah.
Because,
all gusto.
You know, we're a bunch of intellectuals here. We definitely did not just spend 10 minutes talking about how a potato chip almost killed Big Josh Boy. You know, it's like...
All right. That has nothing to do with being smart. All right. That chip was out to get me. It's not fair. You're twisting my words around. I don't appreciate it.
I can't wait to see this lawsuit. I can't,
bro.
Okay, you know what? I can't wait to. It's like not even the lawsuit itself. It's in 10 years to actually see the wording on a bag of Lay's potato chips that's just like, caution, chips may be sharp. That would be the funniest fucking thing ever.
I can't wait. I'm gonna get 'em.
But before we get into any of that, because of course, we're going to give you that news cram. We got a bunch of stuff we got to cram you full of. We got that God Bless the Crowd. We got some listener questions from the amazing Wombat Emperor of Australia. But before we get into any of that, I would like to introduce myself, Vaughn Hyde, alongside my illustrious co-host, the biggest of average Josh Boys. How you doing, big Josh Boy?
I survived.
You did.
I'm doing well though. It is a good day. We just got back from a long weekend, which sucks that we're back working. Obviously I'm talking about corporate life, so maybe that doesn't apply to most people. But you know what? Fuck it. I'm back, baby. Let's do it.
How many days off did you get? Did you get like the 4-day weekend? Did you get Black Friday off too?
I got Thursday and Friday and I took Wednesday off.
Dude, yeah, I have Wednesdays off normally, and we got Thursday and Friday off, so I also got that 5-day weekend, bro.
It was nice.
Great.
It was so good. I got to do, and effectively, I probably did like nothing, but it was great.
Mm-hmm. See, that's the best thing though, is that like I totally fucked up my sleep schedule, which is just ruining my day today. But ultimately, I wouldn't take it back, No. It was like, never. I loved staying up until 4 or 5 a.m. and then sleeping until noon. It's like, bro, you got 5 days off. How else are you going to do it?
I can't do that. I can stay up till 3, 4 in the morning, but I won't sleep until noon because I feel like shit. Mentally, I feel like shit physically because then I'll wake up at like 8:30 or 9 and I'm like, fuck it, I gotta do things. And then I'll just trudge through the day being like, oh, I feel so bad. I should probably take a nap, but I just won't because I'm like, I need to do things, but I don't.
Dude, and naps just make you feel worse. Like, why even subject yourself to that? I've never found.
I really like naps. I love naps, but I hate wasting time.
I have never had a nap where I'm like, that was a good idea. After every nap I've ever had, I'm like, can I die, please? Can I eat a sharp potato chip and kill myself? Like, bro, I'm done.
I'll show you how.
I can't. I gotta know your fucking nap strategy. Like, how
well,
you
here's
do
the thing,
this.
All right? Because I don't eat potato chips. Like, these people who are like, they're like, one potato chip. One potato. Like, I don't mess with that. All right. I go for the handfuls. I shove them in my mouth. I'm just asking to choke on them, but apparently no, they're just cutting me up on the inside.
Have you ever thought about taking like, I believe it's called like a horse and tackle or whatever, where it's like, you can put the little feed bag at the front of a horse's face and then they just like eat, you know what I mean? You ever thought about doing that with some potato chips? Really save you some time. That's hands-free enjoyment right there. You could play video games.
Thinking about it.
You don't have to get your controller greasy. Like, that's true. There's a lot. I'm convincing myself right now. There's a lot of merit to eating this.
There's only benefits, dude. Should that be our first like non-normal item from IndiePod? Get a little like little feed bag,
a little feed bag at the front of your mouth. That'd be great. I would. Damn, Big Josh Boy coming up with them great merch ideas,
I know.
Philip DeFranco ain't got nothing on us. Fuck his fucking December drop. We're going to release a feed bag. Yeah. For no reason. We're like a human feed bag. And they're like, did you just buy this like fucking DMB or something? Is this like for a horse? And we're like, no.
Just slap an IndiePod sticker on it.
It would work. I guarantee you that shit would work. But of course, before we get into anything that we're going to talk about today outside of sharp potato chips, we have to go through our housekeeping. This Wednesday, which is, of course, December the 1st, which is pretty exciting, Big Josh Boy.
It's pretty exciting. We're almost at the end of the year, baby. Already?
Yeah. Gonna get some dope-ass fucking Christmas presents, bro. Hell yeah. Yeah.
What you gonna get?
Stoked.
What'd you write down on your list? What are you asking for Santa? Santa? What's he got for you?
The other day, I found this fucking dope-ass slime that you can poke and it talks, and it's actually kind of gelatinous, and I'm really regretting that I didn't put it on my Christmas list. So this might be a shitty Christmas.
Maybe Santa's listening right now. You never know.
Oh, Santa, please get me that Rimuru Tempest dope-ass fucking thing. Thank you very much. But be sure to check out our developer interview going live this Wednesday. It's with motherfucker. This
my favorite.
This is a toughie, okay? This one's Avram Dumitrescu. What the fuck is that, dude?
Yeah.
Like,
It's a great name.
I appreciate that you are living with that name, bro. That's got to be a hard one.
Say the game's name now.
No. Oh my God. What? It's Schmutznik.
Yeah, Schmutznik.
Oh my God. To be sure, like, to let everybody know, the way you spell that is SCHMUTZNIK. Schmutznik.
That's right, baby.
How did you get through that developer interview? Did you ask them if they got bullied as a child? Like,
no, but I did ask them what was up with the name.
Okay, well, I'm excited to listen to the developer interview then, to at least hear what's up with this interesting sounding indie game name. Of course, if you're on a webpage, please head over to the Teespring store for IndiePod, where you can pick up some dope hoodies. You can pick up some t-shirts, some stickers, soon to be a feed bag, you know?
Hell yeah. Bro,
whatever we can get you to change your life. That's some good shit right there. While you're doing that, might as well head over to YouTube, subscribe to this channel if you're watching it. Otherwise, I mean, just subscribe to that channel. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a little bit different depending on how you're consuming this. It's a little bit weird. Leave us reviews on any site in which you could do so. Specifically, iTunes helps us out a bunch. The easiest way to do so on Windows apps or Windows devices, just download the iTunes app. Leave us a dope ass review. Big Josh Boy, do we have one? You're giving me finger guns.
No. We have, I think we were at 10. Now we're at 11, but I don't think there's a new one. I think it's just someone put a 5 for us. They didn't put a comment.
You gotta put that comment. We'll read it on here, bro.
It's true.
Like, let me know what your weirdest fucking email signature is. I want to know if you're all cock. You know, it's
the way you say that,
I
don't enjoy it.
I want to know.
I don't enjoy it. It's too sensual.
I feel like me saying anything at this point, like the relationship I have with you and this audience, it's just, you know, like anything can sound a little bit too sensual.
I think that's
I could be like broccoli. And you're like, ooh, it's too much. You know, but lastly, thank you so much to all of our amazing patrons at the $3 tier or higher. If you give us any amount of money, you are absolutely fantastic and we adore you for it. But made that blood pact. You know, I'm already going to hell. I want to go to that like lowest circle of hell. You know what I mean? That like Dante's Inferno shit. Yeah, where there's like that. Yeah, like
he's got fucking his pee swinging at you, and you gotta
exactly,
dude.
Exactly,
good
dude.
Good game.
That's some Squidward shit right there. Like this is everything's hanging out, bro. You got to change your life, but gotta thank these peeps. You know. So thank you so much to Ethan, a gamer for fun, John. It's just John, bro. We'll see Zach Durham, Chase Hopkins, Philip Prince, the One Bit Emperor of Australia, Juno, and Sam Fillion from Canada. Sam, I know you said that I don't have to say it. Okay, I know you said it, but I love you too much to not say it, you know? We know that you are proud of your Canadian heritage.
It's true.
So I'm going to say that every fucking time so everybody knows. You from Canada, bro. Still, one of my favorite moments of all of IndiePod is him sending in his book club audio and being like, hey guys, it's Sam from Canada. It's just the best. It's awesome.
Plus,
I very much appreciate it.
It wraps everything up. Like, it's such a good, like, finishing moment for the list of names. Like, Sam Fillion from Canada. And then you're like, boom, we're done. Like, anytime we get more people, Sam always has to be last. Just because it's got such a good closer.
Yeah, somebody comes in with a lower name and I just delete their Patreon tier. I'm like, we don't need your money.
We can't take your money. You just...
the welcoming letter for them is just like, change your name or I will delete your pledge. And they're just like, what?
IndiePod out here not trying to be famous, just trying to be real.
I know. Not even trying to make money. Just trying to make it sound good. Okay. Trying to prove to everybody that we love them enough to display their beautiful heritage. Big Josh Boy, you are playing a game called Before Your Eyes by GoodbyeWorld Games. Please tell me about it. Are you loving it? You're so deep into it.
So I already beat it. So no, but also yes. Before Your Eyes. So the reason why I started playing this, this is a game that I've heard from a lot of people for their 2021 game of the year. And it's a game that I thought was super cool just from a design point, because this game you have to play with a webcam. And the way it works is it's tracking your eyes, and every time you blink, that forms progression in the game. So normally there will be cutscenes where you're just watching it and nothing happens. And then there will be points where you have to like move your mouse to navigate where you're looking at. And sometimes there will be like a little eyeball and it'll show you like point your mouse there and blink, and then something will happen. And other times there's a little metronome. So like a thing flipping back and forth, like tick, tick.
Yeah, it's
tick.
like a rhythm.
And every time that comes up on the screen, if you blink, the scene changes. It jumps from wherever you were at and just changes. So if you're in a very heated discussion and you're like, I need to not blink because I want to know what's going on, but then you blink, you're like, fuck, and you lost it. And you go to the next scene, whatever it might be. And then you have to like pick up context clues and try to like figure it out. It's a narrative adventure game. So there's really not much you're doing from a perspective of like, if you're looking for a game that's going to be crazy mechanically active and it's like really in your face intense, like this is not your game. But this game is a really great story about an individual who has recently passed. He was this person that in the story you get picked up by this weird cat looking creature who is sailing through a river of just these like floating eyeballs. And so that's what your soul becomes at the end of once you pass and you're like in the afterlife kind of a thing. So think of it as
it's
like
exactly what people want for in heaven. It's just a fucking river of floating
of
eyeballs.
So think of like the river Styx, like Karen, the basically like kind of Grim Reaper type character is taking you to this person who is going to hear your story out and decide if you, what seemingly is go to heaven or hell. So the guy's talking to you and he's like, I picked you as one of the people, like, I want to know your story to take you to the person, the all knowing, whatever, being, doesn't matter. And so the way it works is you can't really talk because you don't have a mouth. You don't have blah, blah, blah. You're just like blinking to let him know the story, which doesn't make so much sense because obviously like he'd have to know a little bit of it, but it just goes with the story of like why you're blinking to form progression in the game, because it's you blinking to tell him that you understand yes or no or whatever. And he creates your story based on this and then will tell it to this individual. So it's really just this very heartfelt story of your existence and how this boy went to be an individual who was really good at playing the piano and then became an artist, and you're like talking to this person, and there's a few snippets and twists in between it and pieces to it, but it's just like a really good story. And I thought that the idea of you blinking and having to like really strain your eyes to not blink in those those intense moments was just such a cool mechanic. It is very much just a story. This is one of those games where you could argue, is this really a game or is it just more of an interactive experience with your eyes? Which sounds like a really bad quote. But that being said, I think that it's such a good story and such a cool mechanic. I think that there was a lot of love that was put into this. And I'm not going to lie, I think it's one of my top 5 right now for 2021.
Really?
Yeah, I loved it. I loved the experience. It's only like 2 hours. But I enjoyed every minute of it.
How dry are your eyeballs after you beat it?
Bro,
were they pretty dry?
They were pretty dry. There was they were pretty dry. It was tough because there were moments where like there's certain parts where when the metronome is gone, like tick, 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 if you find another like little eyeball symbol, you have to be like, oh, I gotta look at that. And so then you'd have to look at that, and then when you blink, it starts again. So you'd be like, oh, have to like try to go, like, it's this stupid game, but I thought it was really, really clever. But there's a version where you don't have to do that if like you can't, like if you're something to the nature of it hurts your eyes or whatever. There is a mode where you don't have to use that. But the novelty of you being recorded and blinking to progress the game was just such a cool idea that I wanted to do it. But
I mean, it is a really cool gameplay mechanic. I do have to say it is pretty interesting. Once again, gotta love indie games for being like, let's do the weird shit.
Right. Yeah. Like what other game has this? But if you do want those achievements and you don't want to keep your eyes open the entire time, You could always turn that feature off, and then like I don't see how it would be hard otherwise.
Okay, it doesn't disable achievements or anything. I would think it
I
would.
have no idea. I didn't try. I don't care about achievements enough. But there were like certain achievements I got just because I was like keeping my eyes open long enough to do something in the story, and it was like, great job, you got good eyes, or whatever it says.
You got some wet eyeballs there, big boy. Good big shit.
Boy. Come on now.
Yeah, I think the majority of the time when you have like accessibility options like that, they disable achievements for the most part.
Yeah,
especially if it's like most of the achievements are predicated on like that specific game feature.
Yeah, and it's certain things like you pick certain options because there's a few like choices that you get in the story, but ultimately a lot of the like the tougher achievements are based off of that mechanic of like keep your eyes open. But
you best believe if I was to make this fucking game, by the end of it, you'd be having to do some Clockwork Orange shit. Like you'd be having to like pry your eyes open to continue to stare at this freaking screen. That's why y'all never want me to make a game. You know what I mean? Because that shit's just gonna suck for you.
not with that mechanic, at least. And then there's another game I've been playing, but I can't talk about it. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'll talk about it next week.
All right, there you go. Once again, the game Big Josh Boy just talked about is called Before Your Eyes by GoodbyeWorld Games. This week, I have actually been playing an indie game. It's going to make Big Josh Boy
I don't count this one.
A little bitchy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, this doesn't count. This genre doesn't really exist.
So it's an indie MMO, BT dubs. So everybody knows it's called Gloria Victis. It's by Black Eye Games. Supposedly, from what I understand, it originally started out as like 3 people. And now after like several different types of funding, I'm not 100% sure what they went through, but now it's like 15. From what I understand, is their team. And I found it because I was like watching different like MMO content on YouTube from the Lazy Peon and ended up stumbling across like, oh, Gloria Victis, like that's kind of good. That's interesting. I watched him play the fucking Lord of the Rings online and it's just like, why not? Check out this game. So the entire idea of it is it's a medieval MMORPG where supposedly scale based because it does have that radial menu or that radial like direction combat similar to something like For Honor or Kingdom Come Deliverance, where to deflect blows you have to both block and do it in the specific direction. You have to do the same for attacks. It is kind of interesting. I enjoyed that in Kingdom Come Deliverance. Is a big like seller for me for the game, which I've also been playing some Kingdom Come, you know, no big deal. Like I was like, bro, I got that on like a sale for like $13 with all the DLC like 2 weeks ago.
Of course, why
Big
not?
Josh Boy. That's some good shit right there. Except I accidentally got stuck in the DLC for like 2 hours where I had to play as a girl on a farm, and I was like, I fucking hate my life. And then found out I could load an earlier save, and I was chill. You know, I got stuck, but I was good. But Gloria Victis is really interesting. I played a couple hours of it. It's still in early access. And
wow, really?
It shows. Yeah, it's still in early access. It's still kind of buggy, and it doesn't chug. It's just got some very clunky animations and combat. So it's somewhat hard to explain. You're dropped into it initially when you create your class and character. You do have the option to where you can just choose an archetype if you want to start out, which will depend, like it will change your initial like dex, your initial vitality, your strength, whatever, standard RPG stuff. Or one of the interesting things about it is, and this is just something I've always kind of enjoyed in games, with the exception of when it doesn't work out in my favor, is when you're forced to do a quiz to determine what you will be. And this, once again, you're not forced to. You have the choice of actually taking the one you got or just choosing the other ones. But you take this personality quiz basically from these couple of like different things, and it puts you into one of, I believe there's like 5 classes. It's kind of interesting. I ended up getting armor, which was just like it's like a tank, but they also specialize in crafting armor. And I was like, I mean, that's kind of interesting. Like, okay, I'll go with it. I ended up just taking that one because I was like, the other ones don't really like. I eventually came to the realization that I enjoy tanking more than I enjoy any other form of like team combat. So I was like, oh, I'll just fucking do the armor or whatever. I pop into the game and boy, this shit clunky as hell.
Whoa.
Like it's so weird and slow. Like it's kind of fun, but I can't really get into it. I coming from something like For Honor or Kingdom Come Deliverance, or from what I understand, like Mordhau, Mountain Blade, like these games with these directional combat systems, or I guess my experience would be Kingdom Come Deliverance. Yeah. It's just so much more polished and really well done. And I feel like it's still got some work that needs to be done. At least the combat does. It kind of feels like you're just flailing around for the most part. The nice thing about it is when somebody goes to attack you, it does indicate what direction they're attacking from, cool. Which is nice. So you can prepare, and it gives a second between their attempt, like their kind of like charge up, and them actually attacking, which allows you to deflect it. I enjoy that. I think it's really nice. The one major difference with that is that like you can mitigate that. You can completely pass the entire directional blocking system by just putting on a shield. Like if you wear a shield, if you use a shield, you don't have to do it anymore. And Kingdom Come Deliverance is the same way. I don't know about like Mordhau and Mountain Blade, but honestly, like I to an extent, I understand that, like if you were to put on a shield, but there should be some form of it. Like you should take like less damage or less stamina damage if you are going in the right direction. Like there should be some sort of incentive to still participate in that. Maybe there is, and maybe I just didn't understand or didn't see it. But yeah, overall, I honestly wasn't that impressed. You level up really, really quick in the game, but you level up so quickly that you don't even have a chance to really decide what kind of a character you want to be. You like literally within a minute of playing, I leveled up twice, and I was like, okay. And it's like, it just kept telling me, spend your skill points, spend these points, whatever. And I was like, bro, I don't even know what weapons are in this game. Yeah. And you want me to spend my fucking skill points on these skill trees? Like, oh, what? No. Like, just give me a fucking second. But I ended up like, I chose a couple of different things. They really didn't change anything up since they are going for this like skill-based combat with this directional system. Where it was like, oh, okay, you could choose an ability that's actually a shield bash, that when you have your shield equipped and you like block and attack at the same time, you do a little bash, whatever. That works. There's like other abilities that are like, okay, when you swing a two-handed weapon, it hits everybody in the direction, but can also hit friendly targets and some other like miscellaneous things. But yeah, I wasn't really impressed. Thought it was kind of boring. After playing it for a couple hours, I was like, nah, not really feeling it. Gloria Victis, not really my game. Granted, I didn't check out every type of weapon that I could. Maybe it would have felt a little bit different if I tried out like a two-handed weapon, or if I would have gotten into like some of the blunt weapons. But yeah, I didn't really. I don't know. I didn't end up getting them. So
yeah, and it probably wouldn't have changed too much. Like I feel like in that type of game, like the difference between that weapon probably wouldn't be enough to really get you to enjoy the game or to be as enamored in it just based on that alone, which is a shame. Yeah. One of the reasons why I was so surprised when you were like, it's early access, this thing came out in 2016. Like this is
it's been in early access for a long time.
Yeah, which I love when this kind of stuff happens because it begs a question like, what does that mean? What is early access? That's how early? Like
it's kind of like how Star Citizen is like in some form of like development / early access. Like people are still buying shit, and you're like, it's been like years. Yeah. It's been like 5 years, dude.
But I get it. I get it. Like you can work on a game and it's out, but like I don't think it's early access at this point. I think it's just you're still working on it. Like I don't know.
It is, yeah, it is a little bit weird. I wasn't super into it. I did actually try. Typically, archery is like one of the things I enjoy in games. And you basically start out with a bow really early on in Gloria Victis. It feels so terrible. It's the weakest weapon I've ever seen. Granted, didn't have any points in dex from what I understand, which is what the bow scales off of, but it felt like poo poo. It was not good. It was like shoot people in the head for more damage. No fucking joke. They'd be a foot in front of me. I would aim directly at their head, fire, and it would be like, you didn't hit him. And I'm like, in what world did I not fucking drill them, dude?
You got no dex, you dumb armorer.
Yeah, I know. I'm just a dumb little bitch, dude. But yeah.
Is this only PvP? Is there PvE at all? Like, what is the
No, there is PvE. There's a lot of like PvE. There's questing, which really just felt like meandering through the world. Like you just basically
like just and shit.
Yeah, and the quests just like seemingly want you to go from one location to another. It's not even like the typical fetch quest, like in other MMOs like World of Warcraft, where you would go to a city, you get to like Silver Moon City, whatever. And once you're in there, that's your hub for questing for the next 5 levels or whatever. Like you sit there and you quest. It has its own stories. And like that is something that I'd be into. Like, okay, I enjoy MMOs. I get it. I totally understand that. Instead, in Gloria Victis, it's like you go to a place, you have one quest. That quest is to get to another place. And it's like, what? Like you might do the tops. I think in the several different territories I went to, there were like 2 quests in a town before the second quest took me somewhere else. And I was like, why? Why do you care so little about these environments that you want me to just sprint through this fucking game? Like, I don't understand it. Why? Like, seemingly, I feel like the developers just don't feel like their game. It almost feels like they don't feel like their game is worthwhile until endgame with how fast you level up. It's like the games where it's like the combat experience doesn't get good until you hit max level. So instead, they're like, instead of trying to polish that bit, instead of trying to make it fun the entire time, they're like, why don't we just get you to max level as fast as possible?
Which
like,
at that point, just fucking put you at max level and just be done with it.
Yeah, at that point, why have levels in your game? There's literally no reason to do it. Just give me a shitload of skill points. I can build out my character in the beginning, and then that's it. Like, maybe it's all gear based after that. Like, I have no idea. It's just, it's kind of weird. Like, for those who watch Sword Art Online, it's like fucking Gun Gale, how they just like assign their points and they can't do shit about it. Like, everyone gets fucked. They're like, I want agility build. Yeah, it's dumb. But yeah, Gloria Victis, not super into it. I ended up actually returning it because I played it for just shy of 2 hours. And I was like, there's like these other games I want. Like, I really want to play Ender Lilies. And I was like, I have like $20 on Steam. Just pay the extra $5 or whatever. So I returned Gloria Victis because I wasn't into it. I was like, nah, there's mostly because I thought about it and I was like, there is no world that this game ends up coming out that I want to play it. Like, I do not want to play this game anymore. I'm not saying that it's a bad game, just saying 100% not my jam. Like, there are probably a lot of people who really enjoy this game. There seems to be a decent enough community, at least on like one of the 4 servers that they have available. But yeah, I was just not into it. So whatever. Yeah, you're still muted, Big Josh boy.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I was going to say, so is this a good jelly, not my jam, or is this not my jam, also poo?
I mean, I'm not going to say also poo. I'm not going to say also poo because I feel like it's like, there are people who definitely will enjoy this game. This is somebody's game out there. It's just definitely not mine. I can see aspects of it that people would enjoy. Just for me, I'm like, the combat feels too clunky. It feels like it doesn't really even respect its own time, let alone mine. Like it's just very odd and super boring. I have no idea what I was doing. It's like, go fight these bandits. And I'm like, why? They're like, they're bandits. And I was like, I mean, did they do anything? Like, did they kill anybody? They live in a fort near our town and they're bandits. And it's like, okay. I mean, I get that the name bandit has a certain connotation, but I need something more. Like, you got to tell me they fucking robbed your sister. Like, you got to give me anything here. And it's like, bandits.
The bandits.
Okay, dude.
Bruh,
whatever. Apparently, they're also at war with other fucking countries that I'm like, okay, thank you for all of this amazing side story that I had no idea was there.
Are you going to be a hero or not? Fucking take care of those bandits.
I'm such a bitch, bro. They're like, bro, it's a bandit. Like, they obviously stole some shit. And I'm like, from who? And they're like, from someone. They're a bandit.
Like, what are you, a detective? Kill him.
That is it for the games that we've been playing. And since we don't have any main news stories, instead, time for us to hop in to do Cram. Oh man, there's so much. I'm gonna go even further. There's a lot of sexual energy in that Cram. Okay, Big Josh boy. You need to calm down. A little bit too many people quaking. You know what I mean? Their legs are getting weak. So chill.
Is it getting hot here, or is it just me?
You better watch out, Big Josh boy. You're giving too much. I need you to dial it down.
All right.
God. Will you not stop until the whole world is aroused, Big Josh boy? Chill.
I will not.
News Cram is our weekly wrap-up segment where we, the hosts of Indie Pod and Indie Games Podcast, cram you full of all sorts of indie games news. We don't have any quick news stories or any new deals or quick steals, with the exception of Steam has their autumn sale going on right now.
But for the plebs, they won't hear this until it's too late.
I was going to say, I don't think that it's going to still be running, but patrons, bro, you guys fucking pay for this shit. I appreciate that I could tell you about this. There's some stuff on sale. There are a lot of indie games on sale. Okay. I own a lot of them because I buy a lot of shit and don't play them, but like, there's some shit there.
That's how I got before your eyes. That's why I got.
Oh, it's like $6.99 from $9.99, I think.
Yeah, it's good. You know, you got to save that $3. It matters. All right.
Speaking of, did you buy you get any cool shit for Black Friday? Big Josh boy, you big Black Friday guy? I was gonna ask you earlier when we were talking, but I totally forgot about it.
Oh well, let's see. I got a cordless vacuum, bro. It's a game changer. Not to get boring, but I'm digging it.
Bro, you own a house. Fucking cordless vacuum's dope as shit. You don't want to have to like trip over that stuff. The prongs get bent. Like that shit's annoying.
I've told you this before, but I am a man who has no time for minor inconveniences.
Like I'm plugging and moving a cord.
Ugh, the worst. I gotta get that cordless vacuum and just zip. Whenever I want, you know what I'm saying?
Is it one of those dope ass like Dyson handheld ones where you just like it's got like a handle in a fucking long ass tube? Those are sweet. Yeah, they look like leaf blowers, but with a vacuum attachment at the end. Like those are dope as shit.
I definitely got a knockoff one because I ain't got money, but I
don't have $1,300 for a fucking Dyson vacuum, but I got a cordless vacuum.
But it's working, and that's all I care about. Right. Yeah, I got that sweet vacuum, and then I got this watch. Where is it? I got this watch. Which does the little like bloop.
Oh.
So it's one of those the like Android watches.
Oh shit, that's cool. I thought it was just a watch.
No.
Big Josh boy got a robot on his arm.
Yeah, pretty much. It's nice. It's like it's so fucking useless.
You're like, it's really cool though.
But it's really cool. Yeah, it's like I could send text messages through my watch, and it's like, for what though? But I just I dig it.
The most interesting thing about that is like you're like, it tells the time. I can send text messages. It can tell me my heart rate or whatever, and it's like, but your phone can do all of that as well.
And you're like, you're just like, not on my wrist.
Shut the fuck up, bitch. Like, it's like, whatever.
I don't know.
I honestly, one of my favorite things about Black Friday was seeing the things that people were purchasing, like going into Best Buy and seeing that people on Black Friday were purchasing the lowest grade microwave possible. And I was like, is that even on sale? That's like the shittiest microwave. It's only $10 normally. Like, why are you buying that right now?
Gotta save that $3, you know? You gotta get that deal.
Dude, honestly, people got shit Black Friday deals this year. I was not impressed.
Black Friday has gotten like worse and worse over the years. It definitely has not been the same. Like this kind of stuff that like I was just waiting for like the $10 extra that it went on sale for to be like, all right, I guess I'll do it now. And this one I'm still thinking like I might return it because I like it, but it's also anytime I buy something that costs like more than like makes sense, I'm always
more
like,
than $15.
Yeah, dude, I'm so frugal. I am so bad about buying anything for myself. And so I get these and then I'm like, this is fun. I enjoy this. And then like part of my brain is like, yeah, but do you need it though? And I'm like, your right brain. Maybe I should just get rid of it. Why do I need Why do I need things to make me happy?
Why do I need this dope ass robot watch? I can instead, just hoard my money like a fucking dragon.
That's basically what I do. Like, honestly, I'm a pretty good dragon.
All right. Okay. There you go. Yeah. Black Friday, it sucked this year. But moving on into our new stuff. Our first 8 items in new stuff come by way of Nintendo Life, where it was reported that story-driven puzzle platformer Time Loader by Phlasm. I believe that's I don't understand. It's a little weird. Whatever. Phlasm is headed to all last-gen platforms, including the Nintendo Switch sometime next year. That action RPG Tales of Iron by Oddbug Studios just received a piece of free DLC titled Bloody Whiskers, which adds an all-new post-game storyline, 2 difficulty modes, and much more to the game. I thought so too, and then I was like, hold up, this shit came out in September. What?
Time's going by fast.
That fucking flew by. That was insane.
Tales of Iron like just came out yesterday. I don't know what's happening to time.
That's crazy. Whatever. Okay. That sci-fi strategy game Nova 111 or 111, I don't really know, by Funktronic Labs is headed to the Nintendo Switch on January 13th. That puzzle game Shovel Knight Dig by Nitrome is headed to the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, and Steam on December 13th. Big Josh, are you going to pick up that bad boy? You gonna play some Shovel Knight Dig on the 13th?
I mean, I do think it looks good. Well, I might.
Okay.
I don't know though.
Okay.
I don't know that.
I was trying to look to see how much like it if they gave a price point, and I couldn't even find its Steam page. It was very annoying.
Well, is it only for the Switch?
See, I don't know. That's the thing, is that I'm on their website. It says that it's for Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, and Steam.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, we should be good. And then, but that was the thing, was like, I was looking for the Steam page to try to find out like what specific date, what other platforms possibly, like what the amount that it was, thinking I was going to wish list it. And literally I typed in Shovel Knight Dig Steam, and it was like their website. And I was like, bro, what? Where's this fucking Steam page, dude?
I found it.
Now you're such a bitch.
You know how I do. But yeah, there's no price yet. It just says comes out the 13th.
Okay, well, there you go. I guess we'll find out in a couple weeks.
You know what? I might have to do it because I really like the way it looks.
I might have to return my robot watch so I can get Shovel Knight Dig.
Dude, I can get so many games with this. It says, in the article, it does say for $19.99 on these platforms. This is in their blog. This is in their blog. That's why it's different.
Okay,
different place.
All right. Okay.
Bro, where's your research skills, huh?
No, I don't research shit.
See,
that's the thing. I come at fucking Nintendo Life for not telling me. If it's not one quick Google search after that, after I find that, if I can't Google it right after, I'm like, bro, that doesn't exist.
Damn. I get it. Though. I get it. Life is too short to spend all day Googling.
It would seriously take so long. I'm not even joking. Like all of the things that are in this, it would take me so long to verify platforms, especially because some platforms are just like, yes, but no. Like the store page isn't going to go live until a day before. And I'm like, can you fuck me? Like, please, that'd be nice. Thanks. That's cool. Whatever.
I'll fuck you.
Moving on. That adventure puzzle game Ever Forward by Pathia Games is headed to the Nintendo Switch and PlayStation platforms on December 7th. When I say PlayStation or Xbox platforms, it means the current and last gen iteration of the console. So it's PS4 and PS5. Just to let everybody know, because I say it a couple times. That ever-expanding Roguevania Dead Cells by Motion Twin and Evil Empire just received another update, this one titled Everyone is Here, which allows players to don costumes inspired by some of your favorite indies, such as the Drifter from Hyper Light Drifter, the Knight from Hollow Knight, which after writing this, I was like, wow, they are not very creative with names, but whatever. I'm just going to move forward. The Penitent one of Blasphemous, fucking kudos to, I believe it's the Game Chicken developers of Blasphemous. I'm not 100% sure. Or it might actually be the Game Kitchen, and I'm just an idiot and said chicken, or it's something entirely different, you know?
It is the Game Kitchen.
Oh, there you go, dude. I got it the second time around. I feel good about myself. At least within it, I didn't just continue with chicken, okay? Just saying. That wasn't a flub. That was just idiocy.
Chicken is often in the kitchen, though. So, you know, you're on the right track. You're in the right place.
You're in the right room of the home. Now, if you said the Game Toilet Paper, that would have been a little bit weird.
This is like, it's not even a room, you idiot. Come on.
That Metrovania game Trash Quest by Francis Vase is headed to the Nintendo Switch as well as Xbox platforms sometime in December. And that adventure game Drizzle Path Deja Vu by Tonguk Baudur is now available on the Nintendo Switch. Now over on Twinfinite for our last couple stories, where it's reported that vocal 2D platformer One Hand Clapping, which you gotta wonder, is that this? Or is that this? You know what I mean? Can you do a one-hand clap, Big Josh Boy? Can you do it? Oh, you're not even doing the way I was thinking you would. You can't do the like this. I just hit myself.
Yeah, I can do that, but that's cheating. You gotta do that. One of my friends has big enough hands where he can do the like self clap, and it sounds pretty good.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm trying. It's just somebody's listening to this and they're just like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, the listeners
what's happening right
are
now?
Not having a good day right now. They're like, "What is happening? Why did I just spend a minute of this?"
I don't know if I needed that in my life. By Bad Dream Games is headed to all last-gen platforms, including the Nintendo Switch, iOS, Android, and Google Stadia on December 14th. That survivalcraft game Rust by Facepunch Studios just received a new update on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One that adds several quality-of-life improvements, bug fixes, a new combat knife, and much more to the game. That first-person psychological thriller Martha is Dead by LKA is headed to PlayStation and Xbox platforms as well as PC on February 24th. That adventure game 12 Minutes by Luis Antonio is headed to PlayStation platforms as well as the Nintendo Switch on December 7th. And lastly, that 2.5D action platformer Itora by Grimbark Tales is headed to PC via Steam sometime during the spring of next year. So, Big Josh Boy, we've been blessed with so many amazing indie game news stories that it's time to get back to their creators in our next segment, God Bless the Crowd. This is where the biggest of average Josh Boys hops into all sorts of crowdfunding sites, find something awesome for us to talk about, and we do just so. This week, we are once again headed to Kickstarter to talk about a game called Xenotheria, which is a deck builder for RPG fans. Turns out surviving an apocalyptic event is the easy part. The developers of this game are Ganymede Games, I believe is how that should be said.
Right.
I think Ganymede is like a planet in Star Wars or some weird shit. I'm not 100% sure. I might be like fucking stupid here. This could be Game Chicken again, but like I'm almost sure that it's some sort of planet in a
Ganymede
sci-fi.
Is a satellite of Jupiter. It's the largest and most massive.
I'm just gonna kill myself. How about
of the
that,
solar system's moon?
Technically, I said a planet. Just saying. Like it's a planet somewhere, just not in Star Wars. There you go. The developers are looking for $25,000. That is their goal. They currently have at the time of this recording $15,789 with 344 backers and 16 days left to go to get in on the ground floor. And this is what bothers me so fucking much about this, is that if this still exists when you're listening to this, plebes and or beautiful patrons, they have a late bird tier for $23. Who does that? Who says 23 is a good price point for a game? That's just fucked up, okay? That's like those people who are like, oh, we have like the gamer score on Xbox. Let's give them 5. Let's give them 2. Like, let's just fuck up their entire life, you know? But outside of that, $25, that one's a little bit easier. Somebody was just like, we're going to fuck with people, give them that late bird. Did they even have an early bird? Most of the time when they have early birds, you can see it. Like it's listed.
Well, if they did, it would be listed all the way at the bottom, which it's not. But even though they say late bird, I think it's a joke because under late bird, it says get a digital copy of the game at a special price for early backers. So I'm like, did they just fuck with it and put late bird as a joke?
Here's the thing. Also, though, if your early bird like digital copy is $2 cheaper, bro, fucking do $19.99. Do $20. Like, give them at least $5.
I do enjoy that there are discount, versions of this. $2. It's a small amount, but it's still a discount.
Yeah.
But then there's still 35 people who are like, I'm not gonna take a discounted price. I'm giving you full.
Like, I mean, which you got to enjoy that. That's also like those people who pledge without a reward like that. Yeah. I don't believe that would be there if no one ever used it. So there has to be somebody who's just like, I don't need anything from you. Like, I think your shit's just cool. You can have $10, whatever. Yeah. I think that's pretty dope.
Sometimes there's good people out there who just believe in others.
How are you feeling about Xenotheria?
Let's talk about the game though. This game, it's a me game.
A card game? Yeah.
It's a card game.
It's probably a roguelite deck builder in some form. It's got the deck building thing guaranteed.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a roguelike. It looks like a story-based game. It looks like it's an RPG game. Deck building isn't my favorite, right? So that's not the part that I like. It's got
your
cards.
Fucking mouth, bro. Dude, shut up. Bro. The amount of games that you talk about that have fucking cards and deck building in them.
There's not the amount of games that have cards, yes. The amount of games that have deck building, totally different. All right, I've been on this fucking rigmarole many times, but there's a difference. The fact that there's going to be a ton of cards that you get and you have to manage that shit, I hate it. It's why I like roguelikes, because it's just like they just throw shit at you. Whereas this one, I'm going to have to sit there and think about it. And I'm not a thinky man, I want to dive in. Like, I want to think about what cards are given to me and then like play it as I'm fighting these things, but I don't want to sit there and build the perfect deck. But I do like this because it reminds me a lot of the SteamWorld game, the Hand of Gilgamesh, I think was the name.
Quest.
The
Quest, Hand of Gilgamesh.
Yes. Because it has the same kind of characteristics where you have these characters who then have cards attributed to that character, and your random cards that you're getting assigned are based on who are out on the field, and you kind of have to use what's given to you at random, which I love the concept of that. Don't get me wrong. There seems to be an interesting amount of, you have a certain energy type equated to each individual card bearer, which I think is also like an added layer of complexity. That's kind of cool, because even if you had really good cards, but they were all the same type, you still might get kind of screwed over. So you can't like just rely on one specific type. And I think the idea, like, I love post-apocalyptic type worlds and settings. I don't know why. I think it's really cool. So
it's fun. It's like a fresh start. You have to see how the characters like exist in a new world. They don't even get their own world. They're like, it's a new world without Isekai. It's fun.
That's what I'm looking for. And so I like a lot of the elements to this. I think it definitely feels unpolished at this moment. But this game's not expected to be delivered until like 2023, or maybe 2024. It says 2023 on the estimated delivery date, but I think that might be based on an earlier, like, early access type setting I remember seeing something about. I think there was so not until Q4 of 2023 would be the full release is what they're anticipating. So obviously they're going to have time where they still implement things and, brush it up a bit. Cause I think that the management, not really the UI, but just when they're on the screen kind of fighting, it looks a little like early stages. But I think like I said, if it's similar to that SteamWorld Quest type game, which it seems like it very much is, I'd enjoy it. I don't know that I want to put 25 down for it right away. Like, here's the thing. Usually with Kickstarters, it's really easy to back them because it's like $10 or $15 and you're like, fuck it, whatever. But 25 feels very much like what this game would cost when the game comes out, right?
I mean, dude, do we have the deal for you, bro? You get that $23.
Dude, get out of here. Get out of here. I was like, why do you have a smirk out of nowhere? I was like, what happened?
And the second you were like, I don't know if I want to pay $25. I was like, you don't have to. You can pay 23.
It's true. It's a big discount. Hey, man,
there's $12 left, dude.
$2 can go a long way. All right.
It could buy me a new robot watch.
It could buy, well, I don't know about that.
It could buy me a weird robot watch. It could buy me one of those watches that I click the button and it open up, has an alien inside. You know what I mean? Like,
and then it immediately closes itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are cool.
A Men in Black watch, dude.
Those are cool. But it's got people who, like, one of the things that I do like is it's got people from like Riot Games, CD Projekt Red, like a number of people in different industries. So it feels like, you know, they might know what they're talking about or doing. And it does look, you know, even though I kind of mentioned that it doesn't look as polished as it can, I think that the groundwork is there and that the UI still makes sense. And I like what they're doing based on you having like certain formations matter, having the fact that these cards are tied to different characters, having, you know, the different energy for each of the characters and their card type. Like there's a lot of good complexity there that can make for a challenging and rewarding type of game. But I think this is one that I am very interested in, but I don't know that I'm going to back right away. It's one that I'll probably keep an eye out and then possibly pick it up when it comes out.
Okay. I think the creature design is really interesting. Of course, you got that Brother Bray looking like a beetle. I'm into it.
Of course.
Bro looks dope as shit.
Plus, your main character's name is Squiggles. Good name.
Easy fucking selling point. You know what? Norton, like if it was that
Antivirus,
boy, this dumbass fucking crab claws, I was like, nah, bro, but it's Squiggles. Easy for me. You know, that fucking that $23 is like in the bag. No, I personally like, I do like the creature designs and I like the card art. The art itself actually reminds me a lot of Chaotic. If you ever watched it, it was like a cartoon. It was like a Saturday morning cartoon way back when.
No,
but I mean, it's really not my kind of game. It's not the kind of stuff that I'm into. Yeah, I think it looks interesting. And I don't know. I think the premise of like this apocalyptic event on an alien planet, instead it's not about like fucking humanity going against aliens. This isn't like XCOM. Instead, this is like, yeah, aliens with aliens. Like, we all weird. Initially, I was thinking about it and I was like, when I first saw it, I was like, why are you being so weird about this? Like, you're all fucking aliens or whatever. And I was like, but to them, they're aliens. Like, it's not the same. It's just like if an alien came after us. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Your main character was like a crane operator before. So they're kind of your average Joe type of a guy. And the like card synergies. Squiggles. Yeah, exactly. Average squiggle. The card synergies are interesting. I want to know what the different types of mana are. Like, as far as I've seen, like, the green is acidic, but maybe blue is water, but I don't
No, blue
really
is electric,
know.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
because
blue,
he shoots, like, electricity out of his
dude?
crab claws.
That's weird. That's weird. What's yellow, then?
Yellow.
Is it light?
I guess
what
it would
is
be
purple?
light. Purple seems to be just some kind of, like, poison. Yeah, there's a card called Poison Puddle.
Which is weird because then there's like acid, which I guess they're technically two different things.
They're different. Yeah.
Yeah, it's different. It looks interesting. The world seems interesting, but it's definitely not going to be something I check out. But if you're a fan of deck building games or just RPGs in general, if you liked SteamWorld Quest, maybe check it out. It does seem really... It looks cute, I would say. Like that's the easiest way that I would describe it, as I think it looks cute. It doesn't go too far to make anything like realistic or disgusting. Its art style is both like, I would say, a little bit more mature while still having that like little bit of a childish flair of cartoon, which I think is really nice. It's not like something like where Void Bastards is a cartoon, but is like, that shit's kind of gross.
Yeah.
Like it looks weird. You know what I mean? So I think it looks cute. I think it looks interesting. It's not going to be my jam.
Are you sure you don't want to pay $250 for that Squiggle statue?
Oh shit, dude. You know what? If it was like a Brother Bray statue,
yeah, I guess
you best believe that I'd be picking that one, because bro's a pessimist, a nihilist, he's stoic and cynical, bro. I'm fairly certain like some of those, you know, cover the others. Like there's no actual reason to say that they're both pessimistic, cynical, and a nihilist, but whatever, dude. It's fucking Brother Brave. If I could get a statue of that Beetle Boy, I'd kiss it every night, you know? Right before I go to bed, I'd be like, good night. I'd like turn to my wife and be like, night, Beeb. Give her a kiss. Give the kisses to the babies, you know? Don't have actual children. They're fur babies. They're cats. Give them a little kiss, and I'd be like, good night, Brother Brave, and just give him the biggest, wettest kiss, you know? Wouldn't even save that for my wife. It would be for the statue of an alien bug. But whatever. Big Josh, but you got any last little tidbits you want to say about Xenotheria?
I don't think there's anything that can top that last comment. No, I think we're good.
All right, there you go.
The developers are going to hear this and they're going to be like, all right, we're making a statue just for you.
I would very much like, there are those few times where I say something weird about a game that's outside of shitting on it, because I feel like that's 90% of the time. But just like outside of it, that's just something weird that I would very much enjoy a developer to be like, what was that all about? You know,
I mean, like, who was that one? That one developer, the pig.
Yeah, the name of the pig game, and they included us in their video where I like read it. I was like, what the fuck? And you're like, yeah. That was like, I very much appreciated that video. That was awesome. But it's time for us to answer some listener questions. This week, we have 2 questions from Mr. Philip Renshaw, the Wombat Emperor of Australia. Writes in and asks, are you curious to know what human flesh tastes like? Big Josh boy. Okay. I got a second question for you after this. Tell me, human flesh, are you curious to see, you want to know what it tastes like?
Not really. I feel like it would be gross. I don't think.
Really?
Humans are kind of gross. The stuff that we put inside our bodies is probably not good.
I mean, to be fair, the stuff we put in animals' bodies that we then eat is also not very good. Like the shit that we feed animals and then are just like, you fucking eat it, you know? Not great either.
Feel like our processed shit is worse. But I don't know. I honestly, like, not really. No. I'm trying to think of a world. I'm trying to think of a world where I care, but no.
Okay. All right.
Do you want to eat me?
Am I curious? You know,
would you eat my flesh?
Ever hear? Did you ever hear about that? The guy who like basically posted on Craigslist that was like, I'm going to die. Will you eat me? And somebody answered and was like, yes. And they both got arrested or some shit like that. Or at least one of them did, where it was like, I'm going to kill myself and I want you to eat me or some shit like that. That's an interesting interaction brought about by the internet. And like, I'm not going to say I appreciate it, but the internet is magical apparently.
I mean, should they have gotten arrested? Nothing happens.
If it's a consensual eating of the meat,
that's true too.
Like
how? I mean, is it?
It's
wrong?
not like a pig is like, yes, please slaughter me. Like that would be cool. We just kill them and eat them. Why should that? Like if an adult is like, I'm dead anyway, eat my butt, I'd be like, okay, like. If I have to, I guess I'll do that.
I don't know. That's super weird still. But yes, I don't know.
Yeah, human flesh. Am I curious what it tastes like? I'm always curious, you know? I would never do it because I feel like human flesh would have way more hard spots. Like I run my fucking hand down my arm and I'm like just running into weird little hitches and shit. And I'm like, what is my body, dude? It just feels weird. Like there's all sorts of weird little divots and shit.
Granted, it's also like, he's asking only specifically flesh, like
I guess it's like flesh tastes like.
Yeah,
it's like, not necessarily like the texture or like, am I curious to eat it? It's just like, am I curious?
Like
what it tastes
I've
like?
licked my arm before. Like I know what human flesh tastes like.
That's a good point. You're like, that bitch is salty.
It's like that's why I'm not curious. I know what it tastes like.
Do you think it'd be different if you bit into yourself though?
Yeah, it would hurt. So yeah.
Yeah, it would literally be different. Licking myself versus biting myself. Different experience entirely. Much different.
I think, well, I don't know how much different that would be though, right? Like I'd have to cook, like it would have to be cooked for it to taste different. And then I think skin probably wouldn't be what I want to eat.
Okay.
I mean,
All
well,
right.
then again, you eat the skin of the chicken, it's pretty good. But that's just because they put like all that fucking all the
Like
nice
breading
spices,
and shit on it and
all
stuff.
the nice spices and goodies. I don't know.
Okay.
Do
All
you
right.
think
So
we would
here's
taste like?
Did you ask you think you would taste it? What
Do
were
you
saying?
think we would taste like other, like, you know how everyone's always like, oh, it tastes like
It
chicken,
tastes like chicken.
right? Like, do you think
like
we
what would I
taste
think
like
a
chickens?
human would
Yeah.
taste like?
Do you think we would taste more like cows versus chickens? Like, I feel like we're more cow types, right?
I mean, I feel like how there's those people that are like, I only eat grass-fed beef. Like, there's a different taste.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
I
my
feel
wife.
like each person probably has a unique taste. Like, all I eat is fucking chicken nuggets, cookies, and like Monster, bro. That's all I consume.
I feel like you
so
would
I
be
probably
awful
taste
to
like
eat.
battery acid.
That's literally, you're the like example person of why I don't feel curious.
I'm the garbage
about what it
opposite,
tastes
dude. I'm the fucking like Dollar Tree like meat that you could buy, you know,
Yeah,
like
that
just a
$1
random
meal.
dollar store you go to and you're like, oh man, this meat's sketchy as fuck.
Yeah.
Like that would
You're
be
like,
me.
I don't want to eat these Vaughn strips. That ain't me.
Exactly. Yeah. An alien, like fucking alien race comes down to the earth and is like, bro, we gonna eat you. And they just like slice and dice everybody. Big Josh boy, that's a premium cut right there. He's like, you know, I don't fucking filet mignon or like
Ooh.
whatever. Big price
yeah,
meats.
baby.
I'm not a rich boy, so I don't know, you know? But like Big Josh boy, he's fetching a high price. But then there's just like my fat ass on a platter. It's just
I don't
like,
know,
dude,
because a lot of
you just
people
take it
like-
off my hands.
A lot of people like fat because it's got all that flavor. All right.
You got me there. You got me there, you know?
And the muscle, all this muscle is just it's gonna be tough and chewy. Not gonna be what people want.
Dude, in another world, I am the delicacy and Big Josh boy is the garbage food. So
Maybe.
my follow-up question to this is, I was talking to my wife about this the other day. The definition of cannibalism is the consuming of one's species' flesh. It says flesh, but here's the thing. Where do you really draw the line when it comes to cannibalism? Like, I understand that the definition says, like, it literally says the practice of eating the flesh of one's own species.
Dude, we're fucking dumb. Flesh is the soft substance consisting of muscle and fat that is found between the skin and bones. I'm a fucking
So it's
idiot.
all of it, bro. You gotta
I'm-
eat all of it. This is skin.
Yeah.
You gotta eat, like, you gotta bite.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
I'm a fucking idiot. I was thinking about that. I was like, this question doesn't make sense. Like, man, I'm so
human
stupid.
flesh, dude. Phil is like screaming right now. And
Dude,
is like,
that's what I was just thinking. He's like, you fucking idiot. You're not.
Once
you're-
again, answering my question incorrectly. So, like, am I curious what human flesh tastes like? I'm curious about it, but I don't know if I'm ever curious enough to, like, follow up that Craigslist post. And I'm like, yeah, let me eat your butt, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. In a world, like, let's take the social part out, of it out. Like, if this was a
of
world,
being a cannibal.
well, yeah. Like, let's
the social stigma of eating another human being. Just take that out of it.
Because that's the whole point, right? Because there's a lot of that's gonna make you say like no right away because you're like, no, it's taboo, it's frowned upon, it's a no. Why? Like,
yeah.
So, but if this was a world where cannibalism was just like, yeah, you do it if you have to, like, you're stuck on an island, like, fuck, whatever, you know,
just fucking eat your buddy.
Eat your buddy, you know. Sometimes that's the way to really bond.
There's like some coconuts up there. You just like take one of them, hit them, eat them.
Maybe. Sometimes you gotta eat.
Yeah.
But I don't know though, because I would be a person that, and this is the same, like, there'd be no situation where someone would be like, would you like to try some Brandon? And it's like a plate of someone that you could eat from. So this would have to be in this situation. I'd have to literally kill a person. I'd have to then skin them. I'd have to cook them. I'd have to go through all of this rigmarole. And like, I wouldn't even be able to do that if that was an animal, like a cow or a chicken.
Yeah.
If someone told me like, you have to kill your food to eat it, I'd be like, guess I'm a vegetarian. Fuck.
I'll go fucking pick that lettuce. Like, I don't give a shit.
I wouldn't be able
Honestly,
to do it.
though, when you think about the word cannibalism, it seems like there's some sketchy. I'm not saying this is a conspiracy, but this seems like a conspiracy where they're just like, okay, well, you know, there's like the guy writing all like there's fucking, let's just say Plato, fucking Aristotle, some like philosopher is just like, you know what? We have to make this taboo so that people don't just start eating each other, or why else would you pay for food? Whatever, you know? Like, why else would we worry about that when we can just eat Brandon, you know? But like they drew the line where they're like, we'll say flesh though, because everybody likes breast milk, you know? You just like the babies like it. There's probably some like fucking Holy Roman Emperor who's just like, I love the titty. You know, they just like drinking breast milk when they're 85 years old. Like there's some weird shit and they don't want to piss that guy off. So they're just like, we'll put flesh. But that's my question is, where do you personally draw the line with cannibalism? Because I say, you consume a byproduct of a species, you are eating it. So I would say that like,
you're going on those vegan rules.
We're all technically fucking cannibals. And I think we should just be okay with it. Like, just be fine. Not saying that like, be fine, eat your neighbor. I'm just saying like, you just need to chill, you know?
I think you're getting hung up on semantics that don't matter. I think we all know what it means. It's eating someone.
Do we though? The other day I was just like, hey dude, like breast milk, how is that not cannibalism? My wife was like, you know, like it's the thing. And I was like, bro, it's cannibalism. Like, let's just be honest about it.
Well, no, it's fine. Because the flesh.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's a conspiracy, Big Josh. No. They're trying to fucking tell you some dumbass shit so you won't eat Brandon, bro. But you'll suck on that titty. Like, they want to draw a line.
I'm not going to suck on Brandon's titty.
Specifically Brandon's. You know, there's Dale over there. Dale's chill. No, I get it. It's the flesh. So you would like, you personally, you know how everyone's like, this is my truth. Your personal definition of cannibalism is the flesh. Yeah. Whereas mine is like, we're all cannibals.
Yeah. If you were to walk up to me and just be like, fuck you, and chop off my arm and then just take a bite, I'd be like, that's a prime definition of cannibalism. And then I would scream and probably die.
Okay.
But if you were to,
you see, like, there's those people who are like, yeah, they're breastfeeding their child, like, in the grocery store, which shouldn't be weird, by the way. It really shouldn't. But they're, like, doing that. You're just like, cannibal.
Yeah.
Like that's me, dude.
It's too far. Too far.
I just think we all just need to come to terms with the fact that we're cannibals, whatever.
I just think you need to learn definitions. I'll admit that I was wrong with flesh. I don't know why I thought it was skin for a while. I shouldn't have.
I did too. I mean, whatever, dude, whatever. So Phil also writes in and says, what is the funniest sounding word in the English language? This is a weird question because I don't know necessarily if I can speak for all, like, everybody and is like, oh, this is the funniest sounding word, because it's not going to be like, oh, this just sounds hilarious. But here's mine, okay? Mine is like the word you say that is a word, but for some reason you're like, that's wrong. Like, that's my definition of the funniest sounding word in the English language, which is like drawer. That sounds stupid. That sounds like it shouldn't be a word.
Yeah.
Like you should, like, it should be like, you're a good artist or whatever. But so many people say drawer that I'm just like, I want to say that that's not a word. Like, it sounds so dumb, but I'm pretty sure it's a word. Like,
yeah.
Big Josh boy, what's the funniest sounding word in the English language to you?
I'm going to go real basic and just kind of immature. I'm going to go with kumquat.
Okay.
It's a good word.
I love how you're like, I'm gonna go with the real basic, like such a stupid one. And the second you say it, I laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got the word cum in it.
It's
a fruit.
It gets you there, dude.
It's like,
what the?
It's a small fruit bearing tree. They're kumquats.
Okay. All right. You know what? I looked up the word drawer because I was like, it just doesn't seem like it should be a word, but it's got to be a word, you know? And then it's just like a box-shaped storage. Like, that's a fucking drawer. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm like, do I need to phonetically spell this shit? And then another one is just like underpants.
Yeah, my drawers.
Yeah, and I guess like now that I think about it, it makes way more sense. But then of course it's like, what is a drawer person? It's like one that draws. How is that like that it just doesn't seem like that should be a word. I hate it. There you go.
All right. Well, that's one way of looking at it.
Kumquat is a good one. Kumquat
thank you. My other one right below that was canoodle, because it's a good word.
That is a good word, you know? I feel like here's the thing. Okay, I gotta look this up. What is the name of this? Weird. Okay, so have you ever heard of noodling? It's like the practice of like catfishing with your hands.
No. Noodling.
Yeah, I said it to my wife the other day. I said noodling, and she thought I meant basically like cuddling. Like it was like a cute word for cuddling. And I'm like, yeah. I was like, bro, no, this is like noodling is fishing for catfish using your bare hands.
Yeah.
Shit's fucking weird.
Which is weird because you would think that canoodling would be closer to what this is.
Yeah. Because it's like cats. Like
and then noodle.
And then noodling. I mean, who on earth was like
flop
noodling?
Around like noodles. You know?
Yeah, I don't know.
They make the noodle shape. They're like, ooh, I'm a noodle. I'm a noodle. I'm a fish. You get it. Come on.
It's exactly what catfish is.
Cat noodling.
That's exactly all the time. I'm a noodle.
I'm a noodle. I'm a fish. I'm a noodle. That is the end
of this week's episode. Thanks everyone so much for listening. If you would like to chat with us outside of the show, you could do so in a bunch of different ways. Specifically, be sure to follow us at IndiePod over on Twitter. You can follow me, Vaughn, at Hyde Legion. You can follow Josh at _George90.
Okay.
But of course, before we hop off here, got to go through that housekeeping one last time. Ooh, just listen to our developer interview on Wednesday. They're talking about their game
Schmutznik.
There you go. No way I'm gonna be able to say that one twice in this podcast. Please check out the IndiePod store over on Teespring for your t-shirts, hoodies, stickers, soon to be feedback. You know, it'll get there eventually. It'll be like how I said hoodies for like 2 years and then we eventually got it. But
2 years.
I'm gonna fucking
2 years.
I'm gonna put my nose to the grindstone or whatever and get us a feedback. I'm gonna get that branded IndiePod feedback.
I can't wait.
Please check out our YouTube channel, which is just IndiePod over on YouTube. Subscribe there. You can watch these episodes. Leave us reviews on any site in which you could do so. Specifically, iTunes helps us out the most. And lastly, thank you so much to all of our amazing patrons at the $3 tier or higher. Once again, if you give us any amount of money or any amount of your time, we absolutely love you. Thank you so much for it. But gotta thank those $3 tiers and higher. So thank you so much to Ethan, a gamer for fun. John, it's just John. We'll see Zach Durham, Chase Hopkins, Philip Renshaw, the Wombat Imp of Australia, Juno, and Sam Fillion from Canada. Thank you all so much. You're all so amazing. And we will talk to you all next week. Goodbye.
Bye.